happening, everyone? Happy Sunday to you. Happy Monday if you're on the other side of the world, perhaps. It's another sunny day in Hex Code, and we're here today. Took a day off, and I came back fresh, relaxed, just took a morning run, feeling pretty good. And I wanted to go through PulseChain 101. I realized I haven't did one of these, and where I'm not someone who normally makes the tutorials or stuff like that. I like to go live, clip stuff, do AMAs. I wanted to open this up to people, probably go about 30 minutes or so because I want to cover a lot of stuff, but concise detail, do a couple walkthroughs, all that stuff. I got a dummy MetaMask set up so I can connect to a couple dApps. But if you have any questions, if you're new to PulseChain or Hex or otherwise, just let me know and ask, put your questions in the chat. Again, it won't go too long today, but I wanted to create some content to just introduce people to some of the concepts, what this thing's about, how it's different than Ethereum, and all that kind of fun stuff, how to do trading, and just kind of click through a little bit of farming stuff too. So I don't have any gas, so we'll be making transactions, but I think it's pretty straightforward from there. Once you can see, at least you can see the wallet up and doing stuff. So say hi to the chat real quick. We'll get into it. UFO has landed. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was a great stream with coffee. I never know. I have some topics to talk about with people, especially when I have coffee and folks on. I try to come up with some good stuff. But I never know which direction it's going to go, depending on chat and otherwise. So thank you all for asking good questions and doing some fun stuff in there and keeping it fun and entertaining. What's up, Bets and Crypto? Good to see you, man. Hope to see you soon. Nothing else. Hope to see you at the barbecue coming up. DJ Bomber, welcome. What's up, Unplugged Dad? You guys are some local Hexans in the chat here. Finbear is online. What's up, Finbear? Dawage, welcome. Afternoon from Dublin. Yes, it is 8. What do you guys? 9 hours or so. Late afternoon, Dublin. Very late afternoon, I believe. I'm correct on that one. Welcome, Dathithi. Hex 647. Welcome to the show. Meeting co-banders from Turkey. Ooh, I do love Turkey. Had a great trip to Turkey a few years ago. I was in Istanbul and a city in the south. I forget which one. I think we took a train. I don't think it was a plane. I think we took a train from Istanbul or something like that. Maybe we took a car. I can't remember. I had a great time there. Great time in Turkey. Lots of great food too. Great food. A lot of good people there. Very fun place. Finally get to catch a live show. Yeah. Simple. Oh man. Shout out to Simple Jack. Favorite characters of all time. So fun. Shout out to Ben Stiller and Simple Jack. Oh, I hope you know that reference. I imagine you do. That's a great character. Love it. Yes, love from Turkey. Modij, man, some of y'all's names, I'm struggling. Modinjanet. You got to pronounce it for me in the chat sometime. Everything's good, man. Everything's good here. No worries at all. Are we near the bottom? I do not give that Unplugged Dad. I do not give that kind of advice. However, I certainly hope we are. Anyways, I'm going to unplug from chat for a moment and get into it because, again, I'm going to go about 30 minutes. And I want to make this short, concise to get on with my day as well. And everyone else to have a good weekend and not maybe think about blockchain. Maybe you don't. Whatever you want to do, it'll be fine. Drop this in the chat. I was coming across trying to find some good explanations just to give you some key points on PulseChain to rather than just trying to come up off the top of my head. I can do that, but I feel like kind of going off a couple of these would be make it easier, faster, not have me up here just going, I forgot about that kind of sort of thing. So why PulseChain? Fork of Ethereum, proof of stake, all that stuff. Used to be a fork of BSC. And then we're like, hey, Ethereum actually launched. They actually launched Ethereum 2.0. So it became a fork of Ethereum 2.0. And some of the features, lower transaction costs. That's kind of the lowest common denominator. A lot of times the Stipcatcher might say it's a newer network. Ideally, we would want gas fees to become expensive later on. That means PLS is worth a lot, right? I talked about that many times before. And it only makes sense when PLS goes down, right? Everyone's like, oh, wow, we want this thing to go up. Because even though there's more expensive gas fees, then that means the coin's probably widely used and better as well. So faster transactions, there's a little bit of tweaks there, some parameter changes. It is so one of the most interesting things about PulseChain is it is a full system state fork. So literally all the copies of the coins you have on Ethereum prior to a block height that was the fork of PulseChain that became from then on the fork of PulseChain, that you get the same copies on Ethereum, and those can be traded. They may have prices, they may not. They may be worth something, they may not. They may have value to certain people, and they may not. The market will decide. The market has decided up and down the last 3 months since launch. So I'll get into trading a little bit on PulseX and show you pHUX as well, because that's another interesting DEX. But that is one of the key points of PulseChain, is this sort of experiment of, okay, if we take the coins on another network, whether they're connected to the platforms or not, will they have value? What will the market decide? And some people say that the casino portion, some of these aren't redeemable, all that stuff. Again, the people decide whether they have value or not, and they have been on and off, up and down, left, right, and sideways, backflips and everything. Shout out to our friend Somi. A very young network. Again, the price did a 2.5x or something like that on PLS. Hovered maybe a little bit above SAC rate on PulseX, the token of the DEX. I'll show you in a bit. And there's also the incentive token, which you get for farming, providing liquidity and farming on the PulseX exchange. Again, we'll get in that in a minute. And then now we're at this moment in time when we're recording this, it's went down significantly as the bear market in general has brought down a lot of stuff in crypto too. So cheaper fees, faster. It's also proof of stake, and a full system copy of all your coins on PulseChain, ran by a man named Richard Hart, who is near and dear to my heart and many, many other people. You can learn more about him here, richardhart.com. Talks about all the stuff he does. Pretty cool and interesting guy, in my opinion. Wants to make the world a better place. Does a lot of self-help stuff before. You check out his Twitter, check out his videos. A lot of very ambitious guy. Controversial from time to time, of course, too, but wants to be a force for good in the world. And that's why I first started following Richard in 2016 or 2017. And right after I got into crypto, and yeah, I think he's made my life a lot better and helped me think about things in a much more healthy way than I otherwise would have. So appreciate that. He came up with Hex originally. This is his second project, hex.com. Let me go to that just real quick, just to shout it out while I'm talking about it in narrative here in the story. And you do hex mining, which averages, you got to look at the different times. I mean, I wouldn't take 38% for some people, maybe 10% for some people, maybe 25% for some people, depending on the length and size and all that stuff. However, it's like a blockchain CD type of thing. You lock your coins up, you get yield based on time, all that stuff. You click on how it works to learn more about it. It's all kinds of videos, huge community, hex.com, lots of testimonials. A lot of people love it. And also, when PulseChain forked, you got a copy of that on PulseChain. So that has kind of been the premier token so far on the fork. The copy that's had the most value, as far as I know, has been Hex. And some people think of it as a migration. Richard said before that it hasn't. He doesn't see it that way. The community will decide. It's blockchain overall, all that good stuff. So on the PulseChain network, the copied over coins we would usually denote with a P in the front. So pHUX, pDAI, pShib, the different coins, all the stuff there. And if you're talking about Ethereum and you want to be explicit with it, you would say eHex, eShib, eDAI, all that stuff. Or just if they're native to the token, you say DAI, refer to other ones as pDAI. It's confusing at first, but then eventually, some people just say hex for hex on PulseChain because they believe that is the hex that will succeed. Some people think both will succeed. Maybe they'll be better together. Maybe we'll get a hex v2 one day and they'll unify both of them, just like what's going on with Hedron, another derivative type ecosystem of hex, which I won't talk about today. But if you're interested, just Google for Hedron, Hedron, crypto. Find out more about that. Very interesting project. Great founder on that one as well. And you also get a little bit of copy of PLS to transact, which at first wasn't quite enough. There's this whole history of the first 90 days. I don't want to go too deep into it. But when you got, let's see, I can just open up MetaMask. So if I had Ethereum on here and I had Ethereum at the time of the fork, I would have also a little bit of PulseChain in the wallet as well. So I'll get into how to switch networks and connect to it too. but that's just one thing to note. You'd have a copy of all your coins and then a copy of that, but it would be, it would be a very small amount. It wouldn't be like the price that it was in Ethereum and stuff like that. It would just be a little bit, some of those just neat little things to help, that were supposed to help things be easier to transact. However, at the beginning, gas fees were really high. We had the community was spinning up bridges, stuff like that. A lot of stuff's happened in the last 90 days. But again, a lot of good and bad. I think zooming out is the right approach, is the approach I take at least, and seeing what a new network, what amount of promise we have, and what the community we have behind it is just kind of incredible. So I won't go into the technical details. I know a lot of stuff doesn't really matter to a lot of people anyways. It is just this fork of Ethereum that has all these bells and whistles and interesting things about it, that is made by a guy whose mission is to be successful in glory. And you can read more about that or watch some of my content about it. I made a ton of it so far as well. So I wanted to put up one other link just as that, and then we'll go to PulseChain.com. So it's another guide. This is from Maxi guys who also make awesome products built around Hex and help a lot of PulseChain stuff too. You can read more about that. I'll just drop it in the chat. And talks about middleman, what is blockchain. If you really want the beginnings and try to sort of understand this stuff, this is written by guys who have a lot of nuance, have been around the community, and have built products that do a lot of this stuff, and very, very interesting ideas and innovations as well in this community that we have just building around the products. So what is a hard fork? If you really want to get into the details, what is the difference between Bitcoin and PulseChain? What does it do? And again, this is kind of like at the base level. Thank you for everyone. More private internet, peer-to-peer network, censorship resistance, kind of introduce you to some of the concepts of crypto in general, and then what PulseChain also fulfills as well. What can you do with PLS? Again, we will go to PulseX in a moment. I'll show you about trading. Who runs PulseX? No single entity. You can run a validator. So you have these distributed nodes that are also, a lot of them are also validating transactions, and I'll show you about that in a moment too. Smart contracts, of course, you can build products on it. And then Hex, if you want to learn more about that. So PulseChain.com. First thing, if you want to access PulseChain, is you can just go to PulseChain.com. And then if you just go to add PulseChain to MetaMask, it will ask you, I've already added it before, but before it may say, do you want to add this network? You know, you can click, just read what it says. If you want to add it, click through. And then this one would actually, so I've already added it because I already added it before is talking today. And then this says, do you want to switch networks? So if you've already added it, you can switch network, go from Ethereum mainnet to PulseChain mainnet. And now that you're in PulseChain mainnet, this is like the manual details. We can add stuff in, the block explorer, so you can look at stuff like that. We'll click on that for a moment too. And if you open MetaMask, you can see, instead of being on Ethereum, now you're on PulseChain. So if you did this with your wallet that had coins in around the time of the fork, it's May 12th, May 13th timeframe, you may see you would have a little bit of Pulse, you would have some of your copied over coins, and you would be able to transact with them or get more. Let me quickly go to gopulse.com. This is a place where if you wanted to buy PLS, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. This is one of the sites that offers that service, or it has integration for it. So again, GoPulse. Drop that in the chat. And there's also Change Now. There's a whole bunch of different services that allow you to get more PLS and can be sent to your wallet with or without KYC. So while that's loading, and go over to the Block Explorer, this is where you can search for transactions, just like with Ethereum, but you can see what's going on with PulseChain and look for transactions. And then if you want to go to scan.pulsechain.com, this is another way to look at your wallet, see what coins you have in it, see transactions, look at the different stats of the network, different wallet addresses, and see the stuff that's going through here. And there's a bunch of other features. There's like fee burning and all that stuff too. I'll just click on a quick transaction. And yeah, some of them show more. Let's see. Let me just copy this over just so you can look at it quick. There's auto scan. Okay. Go down here. Yeah, so this is just like you can look at different transactions, shows different stats in different ways. And yeah, if you're interested in looking at that type of stuff and tracing things and seeing how it actually works and the gas prices and EFP 1559 and how that stuff works, feel free. Well, I'm clicking here. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to, again, buy PLS, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. One way, go pulse.com/buy, and you can go from there. And along with a whole bunch of other stats, I'm not going to get into now. I click on validators here and leave it and talk about it here in a moment. But boy, we got a lot of people supporting the network out here. 39,500, almost 40K validators. We made a hit it the other day. And just a ton of people around the world who believe in this network. So that's another thing. The community has been critical to getting this thing off the ground and keeping it relevant. And hopefully in the next bull run, we'll see a lot of that hard work pay off as well. So PulseChain.com, you're on the network. You got MetaMask here. You may have coins in there already. If not, you can get coins if you're interested in exchanging. Now you go to app.pulsex.com. This is where you do, this is one of the places you can do trading, is the Premier Dex on PulseChain. It's got the most TBL, a lot of other stats. We can look at that too. I can show you. If you go to DeFi Llama, let's see, DeFi Llama, you can see a lot of the dApps here that have stuff plugged in. Let me add this link in the chat too. You can see the total value locked. You can see it over time, you know, at launch. Wow. Wasn't that a great time? Mid-May, just after mid-May, just a week or so after launch, we had a ton, almost 500 million USD, according to DeFi Llama. These numbers may be higher or lower based on different products and stuff and how to measure them. However, a ton here. And then, yeah, we had some of the bad news, some of the things happening in the ecosystem from time to time. A lot of it is kind of came off, and a lot of people are just, maybe waiting around to get back in. We hope so as well. However, PulseX, biggest TVL, just under 100 million. pHUX is another place. Let's see if I can show you that as well. Another place to trade. Do they have a link? I can just type it in, but I thought they would have a website. Okay. So pHUX as well. Another place to trade, but I'll show you how to do a transaction. So here, if you just want to swap POS for anything, you can swap it for PLSX. You can get a price for it. Type in this much. This is how much. It'll tell you how much PLSX you would get from that. And then if we go to pHUX, it is a balancer fork. So it's a Uniswap fork, pancake swap fork. And this is another way to put up liquidity. You can also swap and trade, and people use it for different things, different advantages, but just another place that has a lot of value locked up, a lot of liquidity where you can trade back and forth these different types of tokens. Again, you type how much you want in with PulseX. It'll give you, tell you how much it can give you that amount, tell you what kind of network fee, tell you the price impact, how much you expect to get. Minimum, it's got auto router as well. If you want to swap into stablecoin, it'll tell you how much that is and do the transaction. Again, I don't have any PLS in here, so I won't be doing a transaction today. However, if you did, and you hit swap, which I'll come back to in a minute, it would tell you how much you would get. Yeah, not enough liquidity for, well, some of these should have more liquidity. But yeah, if we just do different token, just do incentive token. Let's use an example here. Yeah, some of them have more liquidity than others. But yeah, just do preview, connect wallet. If you want to connect it to pHUX, you click the prompt, click connect wallet. It'll pop it up there, connect account. It's just asking to read the address, suggest transactions, all that stuff. You connect it. Now you connected with the dApp with pHUX. And again, I don't have any PLS, so it's saying that. Otherwise, it would give you all the details and let you confirm the swap and swap through there or provide liquidity as well as another feature. But we're going to go back to PulseX, and it's still working here for a minute. I think it's just my internet. It's not the website itself. So if you go to pools, you can see the different pools. You can participate in those, add liquidity, weighted in different ways. Pretty cool concept. If you don't know much about it, just Google for Balancer or pHUX or look at the docs, and you can understand more about liquidity providing. But I just want to point it out here. That's one place that has quite a bit locked up. TVL around 25 mil right there. Quite a bit of volume too. That's quite a bit of volume for the DEX. So pretty successful there. Again, I can't do a transaction anyways, but here you just click, swap, approve transaction, just pretty much what you would do with pHUX. But let's go and look at liquidity. So if you want to put up liquidity, you look at the pools. So it's farms and there's pools. So again, I'm just going really quick through here just to give you an idea what it looks like. But these different ones, if you wanted to do LP, so you want to go to V2. So this is V1 is the burn, so it burns the LP fees, and V2 is the earn, so you earn the LP fees. So if you want to do V1 PulseX as of now, it could change in the future, it could be named differently, could be merged, could be a third category. But V2 is where the pools are because people are earning fees, and that's where the market decided to take it. And V1 is where the farms are, and there's no pools because the LP fees are being burned. So kind of like a market decision there. It's actually pretty interesting how the dynamics work for that. So anyways, V2, you want to provide here, you can do add liquidity, equal amounts on both sides. So you need, whatever, $1,000 worth of DAI, $24,000 worth of PLS, click connect wallet, add the liquidity. It's pretty straightforward. And this will tell you more about it. Add liquidity, earn 0.22% of trees fair on the pair proportional to your share of the pool. Bigger share of the pool, more fees, all that good stuff. So that's liquidity providing, where you put up coins and you can earn fees through them and permanent loss. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. Very important that you understand that you may end up with more coins than another. If you like both pairs, there's nuance to that. I've done a ton of liquidity providing videos. Feel free to search for those on the channel. And then the farming is you would get the LP tokens. So if you wanted like the PLS, PLSX, you would get the LP tokens. And once you have them, again, we're on V1. Once you have them, then you would enable the farm. And then, you would have more that you would get once you add liquidity, you would get PLP tokens that would represent your liquidity. You would enable them. You would enable the farm by talking to the smart contract and putting them up for trade. I'm just going to reject for now, just to go back. And then you can start farming and earning this incentive token, which is another token of the RH ecosystem. So that's kind of farms and liquidity pools 101. I know it went pretty fast. You need to replay or slow down, feel free. So farming, so you can do trading. So we have, exchange. Again, you get a price, you get a trade, we'll connect wallet, click MetaMask, just like you did on pHUX, connect. Now you're connected to the network. And again, it won't let you do the trade because I don't have that much PLS. Otherwise, it'll be click, swap, super simple from there. So trading, LP, farming is we can do on PulseX. You can also do a few of those things. I mean, pHUX has sort of, you can earn their pHUX token as well if you're interested in that. So they sort of they have LP providing, they have pHUX, which you read more about. They kind of have this whole earning and incentive ecosystem as well over there. So those are the two most popular or the biggest DEXs as far as TVL goes. Let's see. Where was that? Yeah, so PulseX, pHUX. So that's why I wanted to talk about those. And then let's see what else we got. There's a ton of resources and a ton of sites that can help you understand more about the ecosystem as well. So I'll drop this in the chat. So this is shout out to Maximus guys, and Gold Key made this one. So bento.me/PulseChain. It has a lot of the links to the telegrams, the websites, to Richard Hart stuff, to explainer videos. There's a newsletter, guides, different guides of how to do things, different dApps. The bridge, that's another important thing we're going to talk about. If you want to get coins from Ethereum to PulseChain, you can use the bridge. And if you want to get coins from PulseChain to Ethereum, you also use the bridge. Just use it in reverse. So you connect to the bridge on Ethereum. You connect to on PulseChain. I'm connected to on PulseChain right now. You can see that PulseChain, bridge.pulsechain.com. Connecting to it. And then if I had PLS, or if I had anything else, let's say, DAI, wrap teeth, whatever, and I had a bunch from there, then I could bridge it over from PulseChain to Ethereum. There's a fee. And then once everything gets sorted from there and confirmed, switch over to Ethereum, and you can claim your transactions. So it'll be like a transaction queue that'll be waiting here. And then you can make claim the ones and then get your coins back over there. So the bridge locks coins up on one place, and then you can transfer them over on another. So, and there's ways to look at how much coins are on the bridge. Let me just show you that real quick, because that's another point of just fun stat-wise to look at. You can see how much is locked up, whether that's going up and down. So you can see here, $86 million, a bunch of different stable coins locked up on the bridge and different stats. I'll post this in the chat. And you can see the top coins and how much is locked up here. And, if the number goes up and down on PulseChain. So you can see quite a bit of money, millions of dollars, just south of $100 million locked up on the bridge, which brings a lot of value to PulseChain. All right, let me just see what else I want to cover on this before I switch back over. So we talked about bridging coins. We talked about trading, liquidity providing, farming, introduction to network, gave you a little bit about HEX, validating. Well, maybe we'll wrap up on validating. I'll go to questions for a minute. So as I mentioned here, this shows our validators, shows the estimated APY, and then about how much it takes to be a validator. So you basically lock up 32 million pulse and start the process. You go to launchpad.pulsechain.com. And this will tell you, all about it. Again, you click become a validator to start going through the process. You read through, it tells you what you need to know. However, I have also one of the people in the community, there's plenty of people in the community who did this, but I have a guide, documentation, and script on how to do this, mostly a script, and then the guide kind of goes along with that. I'll drop that in the chat. Oops. A shortcut URL that goes to the blog at the landing page. It's tinyurl.com. It goes to my blog, which has a landing page, which goes through a little bit about PulseChain, PulseX, and then what it means to be a validator. Essentially, you run a server, either in the cloud or at home. You deposit 32 million pulse per validator you want to run. You can run 1, 10, 100 validators, as many as you want. And then you just make sure that server stays up. Could be more maintenance, could be less maintenance, depending on how you set it up. And then, again, I have a script that makes all this stuff much easier to do. I have the documentation on the wiki, and I have a video. If you want to dive into it, you can figure it all out. So again, this is just go to that link. It'll give you a link to all the code, how to set up stats, how to get a validator running, and it really does automate most of the process. So that is one of my contributions to the community there, is making sure that especially when a new network launches, people find it as easy as possible to get set up and start doing cool stuff on it. So that is some of the key points I want to go over for there. Again, made by Richard Hart, has a lot of ambitious goals in the world. And one of them is tends to make a lot of people rich, and has done that over time, and good values and a lot of stuff too. Read more about him there. And then the different stats and what is PulseChain and the different links we have to, again, if you want to do liquidity, make sure you know about impermanent loss, make sure you understand it. Look at the calculator if you want. Revoke permissions, security stuff as well. Make sure don't connect to malicious dApps. If you go to my blog, rhmax.org/blog, I have security guidance on there as well. And then, there's buypls.app if you're interested in buying it. Different kinds of on-ramps and connections and places that you can turn your other crypto or fiat or otherwise into PLS and join the network. Join the winning team, that's what I like to say. So that's what I got. I'm going to wrap up in like 5 minutes. I'll quickly go through questions. Appreciate you all being with me this morning. Crypto Bendo, can you point me in the right direction how to interact with blockchains directly instead of using front-end APIs? Yeah, so you can go to Etherscan. So if you want to do, on Ethereum, let's see. Yeah, let me just do Etherscan. I'll show you the hex contract here. Hex contract. Go to contract. Yeah, and if you want to interact with contracts, you go to code, go to contract, go to code, and then you can call different functions. You can call different read functions, connect to Web3, click there, connect your wallet. Switching from PulseChain to Ethereum because I'm using Etherscan, which is for Ethereum. Connect to there, and then yeah, you can call different functions. You can read different functions. You can write the contract. Different stuff with that. Yeah, just pay the gas, and you can use the interactive contracts. So drop that in the chat. That is my very, very brief explanation of it. Let's see. Where to buy Hex? Know that Uniswap match are compromised. Let's see. Doesn't Portal X swap? They have a. Let's see. I thought they had a buy place here too. Another great site to do swaps and all that stuff too. I'll drop it in the chat. But I thought there was a place. I wonder if Alex's fork. I heard him talking about it the other day. So Uniswap. Gosh. Uniswap.hedron.pro. Okay. Almost forgot it. Yeah, if you connect. So I'm on the Ethereum network. Go to MetaMask. Connect. Let's see if I have ETH Hex here. And I want to turn ETH into Hex. So let's see. I assume people put up liquidity for this. Imagine even some of the liquidity might have migrated there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any ETH. However, yeah, price impact. Looks like there's there. You go to the pools. Two top pools. Okay. I don't know if they have I don't know if he has a uniswap.fish or otherwise to look at the pools. Anyways, looks like there's liquidity. I would try there. That's one place to get ETH. Yeah, I know that there's been some gatekeeping on Uniswap and Matcha and otherwise. I would try there. I haven't tried it myself yet, but I heard Alex talking about it on before. So try that. Let me know if it works. Good question, Alex. I haven't bought Hex on. I'm trying to think. Have I bought Hex on ETH? Where have I bought it recently? I know I've been staking it, but I can't remember where I bought it recently. That's why it's not on top of my head. Yes, eco mining friendly as well. Proof of stake. Is there a transition from MetaMask to Trezor? Good idea per. Yes, says it to register profit. I don't know. I'm not considering moving anywhere. Based in the US. MetaMask to Trezor. Good idea. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for where to go from MetaMask. There's community built wallets, internet money, and otherwise people seem to like. Trezor has their own controversies from time to time. I don't know what I've not been briefed on the pre-KYC stuff. So I don't know. I'm sure someone in the community will think more about this and come up with some ways. Maybe I'll have on the show to talk about it as well. But yeah, I don't know. I want some more freedom in crypto. I know that. And hopefully RH will build a wallet, or we'll use community wallets or otherwise. We'll figure it out. But boy, I wish MetaMask would go the other direction. They don't seem to be go the direction of free peer-to-peer cash right now. Again, I guess I got to wrap up. Let's see. Comparing incoming tools protocols against fields, what are the top three you're most bullish on? The ones I'm most excited to see a launch would be Liquid Loans, Power City. A lot of this stuff, just so you can kind of, if you want to stake, if you want to lock up PLS, you want to lock up PLSX and stuff like that. We don't have a lot of native ways to do it right now. Otherwise, other other than being a validator. For example, you can lock up PLS essentially. So yeah, earning stuff like that, providing liquidity, being, you know, fiat, all this like banking type atmosphere that lets people transfer the money around, get liquidity, not have to sell. Those are things I'm very excited about. And of course, Hedron V2, very excited about that. Tetra, they said end of August, so hopefully next week or so we'll be seeing Tetra launch, which I think hopefully will be a game changer. Hopefully they'll be, yeah, there you go, Tetra question. Hopefully we'll be bring a lot of volume and automate a lot of money as well, as far as just automating different strategies around the ecosystem. And I believe you'll be able to stake your Tetra and maybe earn fees and stuff too. So very excited about that as well. A lot of good projects coming up late summer and in the fall. So boy, aren't we just getting started? We're just getting started. What's up, P-Burn? I came to leave a like. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That's all I got for you all now. All right, everyone. Hopefully you got some questions answered. You learned a couple things. Try to go through things quickly but concisely. And yeah, if you didn't see on Twitter, I have a full schedule next week. A lot of good people coming on the show. A lot of fun shows. So I'm excited. Hopefully everyone has a good rest of their weekend. And Scivive and 5555. We are out.